today in this little video series, which will be probably split up in 2 or 3 videos, I will show you how you can triple boot your Mac computer. So we'll run Windows, OS X and Linux on one disk on one computer, and we'll be able to choose from them. So in this episode we'll install Windows on your Mac. What you will need for this: a Mac running OS X. If you don't have it running OS X yet, it's not so hard to install, just watch another YouTube video. It will work all the way from 10.5 to 10.9, so to Mavericks. You will need a Windows disk. You can, if you want to install it from USB, if you've got a MacBook Pro Retina or something like that, you don't need to buy external optical drive, just wait for the Linux video. Install the application I'll show you there and install it that way. It's just for the booting. The next thing you will need is whatever, if you've got a Mac that has an optical drive like mine and it's shipped with an OS X disk, then you can use this for the drivers. Of course, if it has got your particular Windows drivers, mine has got Windows 7 drivers, so I don't need to worry. It's going to update it later anyway, but just, you know, to get up to date. And if you don't have, you need to download it via Boot Camp. And so that is not hard. Just click download my Windows drivers or something like that, and it's going to download. So, with that said, you can run all operating systems from XP 2, 7, and 8, even though 8.1 is a little buggy, I heard. So I don't know about Windows XP on old newer Macs. On my older one it still worked. I'm gonna install Windows 7 if I want to be particular, but it's gonna be the same process on installing anyway. Just the install is gonna be different on Windows XP, but I think you're gonna run Windows 7 or something like that on it. So if you got all this, you're good to go, and no, you're not gonna mess up your computer in any way, because Apple is, you know, offering this service, and that is meant to run. So it's not like on Linux you're doing this on your own risk. Apple still has supporting you there if something goes wrong, so you don't need to worry about that. So yeah, I think we should get started. So we are booted up into OS X, as you can see here. So all we need to do is launch the Boot Camp, because I still need to remove my my older Windows install. With this utility is it's not going to work because you don't have you know, Windows OS X can't read the Windows thing. If you get it formatted differently, it might work, but I always did it this way. So restore, that can be very useful for you as well if you have got an old Windows install or something like that and you want to get rid of it. That's how to do it. So the Boot Camp has restored my OS X, so there is no Windows partition anymore. Oh, I'm just so sorry for that camera work. It's terrible, I know. So if you're asking why not making this via the Boot Camp Assistant the whole way, installing it, well, that's because the Boot Camp Assistant just cares about Windows 7 and later. And I know that there are people out there who still want to use XP or something like that for space, and that's what I respect. I mean, I can understand that completely. And what I'm showing here is pretty much the same, just manual. If you're installing Windows 7, you can do it via the Boot Camp, but I'll just recommend it this way. So go into Disk Utility, and when you're there, you can see there's no Windows partition anymore, so we'll create one. You just click on the hard disk, which is the 1 terabyte here, and then you click Partition, and then you click this little plus. I mean, that is not hard to do. Disk Utility is pretty convenient. And then you just call it Windows or whatever you want to call it, and I'm just gonna give it 200 gigabytes, or just give it 250. That's what I wanted. 250 gigs of Windows. Just get a text message, and then you just click, instead of Mac OS X Child, MS-DOS. So that is the, well, for Windows. I always call it Windows anyway, caps lock. Okay, then you just click apply and partition, and that will take a little time, really depending on your hard drive speed and what you're currently doing. So I don't know how long this is gonna take. It's probably gonna take about 4 to 5 minutes, something like that. And if that's done, we'll be back. So we're done here. It didn't take so long. So in the meantime, I got myself the Windows 7 disk. Ooh, that's dark. Well, there you go. Can't recognize it somehow. It's not so important anyway. So all we do now is insert. You can close out of disk utility, and insert the Windows 7 disk in your optical drive. There we go. That's this crazy little thing there. And now all we do is restart your Mac and hold down the Alt key while it boots up. In my case, this is gonna take a little time to load up the bootloader because I've got a lot of external hard disks, and the computer always feels like spinning them up before it kind of shows something. This is gonna take a little time. So in 1 second or so, we'll see the Windows, and here it is. So there's the EFI boot. I don't know what that is, to be honest. So all you just do, the second here is Windows. It just says it Windows, and then you just, well, go here and hit enter. It's called spinned up. And we see a little, there we go, Windows is loading files. So just wait for this to load, and we'll see you in the installer. Being greeted by this ugly resolution, which we can adjust later. So I will install this in German. So we'll just pick Austria there. So it's probably gonna look the same. So just click install now. Setup is starting, and it loads. And we all accept that crap. And now, don't click upgrade, just click custom. And I always tend to call it anyway. Nice that you can recognize it in Windows in caps lock, and that's 233 gigabyte. That's okay. Probably when you install it, there aren't gonna be so much, but just, it's not so hard. Just don't freak out. It's called Windows. It's easy as that. Sorry. You click this. Oh my God, I forgot it. How is that called? Just click that thing down here, and then you click format because that is not NTFS. So just click format, and now it's called partition 4, and you can still recognize it by this. So now after we made it able to install on here, we just click next, and then we'll just let it do its thing. That's gonna take, depending on your speed of your machine and hard disk, about 20 minutes to an hour or something like that. It just depends on your machine pretty much. So this expanding is taking forever and ever, so just be patient, and we'll be back soon, hopefully. You can see the installation is almost done. It rebooted once. In the meantime, so I think this will take another like 2 to 3 minutes, and then it will reboot again, and then we'll be probably, hopefully, greeted with the Windows setup thing. So just keep on letting it doing its thing. Okay, it's rebooting again, but the start disk is, well, changed to OS 10, so I still need to hold down the Alt key to boot into Windows. Okay, and here we go. Here is the Windows 7 setup screen. Even though the resolution is still pretty bad, but we'll change that in a couple of minutes. I will just do everything. We'll just call it iMac. Yes. Oops, wrote it wrong. And you guys don't need to see that right now. Product keys in, so we'll just do the recommended settings. That is a pretty old disk, so probably have a billion updates. That is correct. Oh, it even recognized my my wireless. And it's still doing. We'll boot into the desktop right now, which will look pretty bad. Okay, you must see that really, really fat taskbar there. Okay, so that's actually for your convenience so that you can see it better. So I've got here my OS 10 disk, and I will just go into the Explorer and eject the disk. We right click because we don't have the drivers installed yet, so that's not gonna work with the keyboard. And here it is. So now we will insert the OS 10 disk right here. And wait for it to spin up again. So here we go, setup.exe. So that is really legit, as you can see. If you still don't believe it, yes, as you can see, Apple. Just click yes. Preparing to install. And here we go. We'll just click next. There's the Boot Camp installation. I accept. Next. That is really, really useful. Just do that. Yes, install. And now what we'll see is installing the drivers. And that is a good sign, what you see here. So we'll just click. Okay, so the computer restarted. Not quite yet. And there is the lock screen. So that is a very, very good sign that we already made it here. So I'll just enter my password and see if the computer actually works. So that was it. Now you got Windows 7 running on a Mac or Windows XP or Windows 8 or whatever you have very easily. As you can see, it's not so hard. So all you need to do is now install antivirus and then get started with your games or whatever you're going to use Windows for. So if you want to change the startup disk to OS 10 or any kind of other operating system or Windows, you just click this little thing here, and then you click on that, and then you click Boot Camp Control Panel, and yes. Oh, my disk is still in there. You see there. So then we just click that, and then you click Apply, and now it's gonna restart the OS 10 all the time, which is nice because I want to have it like that. What you need to do now, that is important to know. What you need to do now is update that thing. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of stuff not working yet, so I'll just click Apple Software Update, and that should download the latest and greatest drivers for your system. As you can see, these function keys, they don't work yet. That is very important to know. As you can see, Boot Camp Update, Apple Software Update updates are pretty much updating the Apple Software Update. So just install that, and yes, so that is pretty useful. Might work from you out of the box if you download the latest drivers from the Boot Camp Assistant, but for me it's a lot easier to just update them. So that was my, sorry to be kind of far away, that was my little video on how to install Windows on a Mac, and check back soon for how to install Linux on still keeping the Windows. So hope you like it, and I will see you in the next vid.